Hello and welcome back to Visura Recaps. The film begins with a woman named Alice, who is 38 years old. She is currently in Brazil for work and will return to Paris. Alice contacts her buddy Pauline at work while on her way to the airport. Pauline informs her that their supervisor, Lisa, has remained at the boss' side since Alice departed. Alice wants to talk to the boss, but Pauline notices Lisa and Vincent entering his office and closing the curtains. Pauline informs Alice that speaking with him will not be feasible on the plane. Alice is upset by a man on the plane who is being very forceful. Meanwhile, a teenage lad called Balthazar's seat has been stolen by another passenger, and the flight attendant asks him to sit next to Alice in first class. Alice drags the youngster down into the chairs, preventing the other guy from taking it. He had simply asked her out later. Balthazar, who has been elevated to a nicer seat, has irritated Alice a little. But suddenly the plane encounters severe turbulence, and everyone becomes terrified. The adolescent lad attempts to distract Alice, but as the lights go out, she grabs his hand out of panic. The turbulence eventually subsided, and everything returned to normal. After Alice leaves, Balthazar discovers the flash drive on the floor. He chases after her to return the flash drive, but Alice has already gotten into a car, unaware that Balthazar is after her. In the following scene, Alice arrives at her office and is welcomed by her rival, Elise, who wishes to take over Alice's position. This irritates Alice, so she goes to talk to Vincent about Elise. To her astonishment, Vincent informs her that Elise is a better match for the position since she is more adventurous and eager to take risks, whereas Alice is nervous and dislikes taking chances. He advises Alice seek another editorial post at a different magazine, allowing her to spend more time with her kid. Alice walks away, angry and furious. Her ex-husband pays a visit at home to pick up their kid, and after saying farewell, she returns to work, feeling even more angry since she has lost her flash drive. After some digging, Alice comes upon a letter left by Pauline, which includes a phone number to contact. Balthazar takes the phone, but he's at a noisy bar during happy hour. Alice introduces herself and inquires about her flash drive. Balthazar claims he has it and provides her the bar's address. Alice rushes to the bar. When Elise arrives, Balthazar introduces her to his friends and says that there was a mistake over the phone. He truly does not have her flash drive, which is in his house. Meanwhile, two of Alice's co-workers notice her in the pub and are startled to see her. They follow Alice and Balthazar outdoors, where Balthazar helps Alice put on a helmet. From a distance, they appear to be ready to kiss, and Alice's co-workers quickly snap a photo and upload it on Twitter. Balthazar brings Alice to his house on his pink Hello Kitty scooter. At his residence, we meet Balthazar's father, who is dating a considerably younger female. He expresses his thoughts about an impending show, while Balthazar hunts for Alice's flash disk. Alice thanks him and departs, but Balthazar invites her to join him for coffee later. Alice recognizes he is asking her out, but she informs him that she does not date younger males like him. The next morning at work, Alice observes her co-workers chatting and laughing at her as Pauline arrives. Alice inquires as to what is going on, and Pauline shows her a photograph of herself and Balthazar titled "A Cougar." Later, Alice discusses a work-related matter with her boss, and he appreciates her going for a younger guy, stating that he enjoys different things that align with the spirit of Rebel magazine. Alice subsequently discusses this with a friend, who proposes that she hang out with Balthazar, be nice with him, and make it appear as if the rumors are genuine. The buddy says that if Alice wants to maintain her career, she must keep her employer pleased, and her boss dislikes workaholics like herself. Alice is hesitant, but she decides to give it a try. She puts on a sexier clothing and goes to Balthazar's college. Balthazar is surprised yet pleased to see her there. He becomes even more excited when she asks whether he's available to attend an art event that night. Back at home, Alice discusses prominent music bands with Zoe and memorizes their names to say in front of Balthazar in an attempt to match his likes. They meet at the show, and Balthazar loves one of the interactive exhibits. Alice finds the display humiliating. When the artist Claude arrives and asks for her opinion, Alice compliments him. However, when Claude acts arrogantly towards Balthazar and asks for his honest judgment, Balthazar responds with an extremely scathing critique. This offends Claude, so he departs. Alice informs Balthazar that no one here expresses their honest opinions. They head to the balcony, where Alice attempts to maintain pretending she loves Balthazar, especially because Elise draws their attention. Alice hopes to run into her employer and show off Balthazar, her apparent companion. Lee soon arrives and starts a discussion, explaining that their boss won't be able to make it tonight. After Balthazar denies a smoke, Lee offers one, asks Alice where she got him, and Alice, enraged, grabs the joint and takes a deep pull. Balthazar overhears the term doctor when Alice receives a call from her sister, who wishes to match her up with her gynecologist, Richard. Balthazar stops a cab and takes the passenger out, believing Alice's kid is at the hospital, so Alice can get there. Alice grins as the cab pulls away, delighted with Balthazar's deeds. Alice is high and making blunders at dinner with the doctor, which is unusual for her. In the following scene, Alice brings Balthazar to a runway show, dressed brazenly to impress her employer, who is also present. Balthazar, on the other hand, embarrasses himself by asking Kimmel's name out loud. Later, when a model slips and falls, Balthazar runs to help, capturing everyone's attention. Alice presents Balthazar to her employer at the party, but Lee grills him with questions. Alice realizes this and brings her young partner onto the dance floor, attempting the passionate dance. One of those pals attempts to snap a photograph, but Alice discovers and flees, leading her boss to believe they were having a love meeting. Later, while driving Alice home, when Alice discovers her daughter is not home, she welcomes him in and they spend the night together. The next morning, it's pouring outside, so Alice lets Balthazar remain until the rain stops. He comes into an Alice-written book that piques his interest. As Alice tries to remove the book from him, they find themselves in a compromising situation. When Elizabeth and Zoe enter the house, Alice claims that Balthazar is her intern. Alice leads them out, but not before giving him a kiss. A few days later, they meet again, and Balthazar goes out of his way to leave Alice with adorable little notes and an iPod before picking her up and taking her on a date. Later, while laying in bed, Balthazar questions her about why she chose to date him, but before she can respond, he rejects his own question. The following scenario depicts Alice attending a work meeting dominated by Lise, who has crude ideas for the upcoming issue's topic. Alice is in the corner, texting Balthazar and giggling. The employer inquires about Alice's thinking, and Lise mocks her, implying that Alice must have dull notions such as armpit stains or high heels. Alice, on the other hand, catches everyone off guard with a daring concept about breaking free from stereotypes. She discusses being branded a MILF and a cougar since she is seeing a younger man, but she seems unconcerned about it. She offers a topic based on fantasy and sexual acts, avoiding preconceptions. That night, Alice stares at herself in the mirror and considers telling Balthazar the truth about why she began dating him. She believes it is not a smart idea since her face will be wrinkled in a few years. Nonetheless, she meets Balthazar, and he brings her to a wonderful futuristic structure that he admires since he is an architecture student. They grab a drink, and Balthazar admits how much he enjoys being with and seeing her. He acknowledges that when she is not present, he wants to see her. Alice is emotionally moved, but she questions whether this connection is a wise decision. She tells him that she has a grown daughter and that when he turns 30, she will be 50. She recommends that they should not continue with this. Alice's suggestion is well received at work, and her employer is happy with her. Her buddy Simon asks if she told Balthazar the truth about the promotion before breaking up with him, and she responds no. Zoe gets into a fight at school after another girl shows her a video of Alice dancing with Balthazar. Alice's ex-husband is furious and warns her that she will have to explain herself to Zoe. Alice defends herself by questioning why it is appropriate for him to date someone much younger, yet when she does, it is viewed negatively. He responds that it is okay for him because he is a guy. Tracy Kimmel pays a visit to Rebel magazine's offices, marking a significant day. However, she dislikes the male model's appearance. After rejecting other models, she inquires about the boy she saw on the runway, referring to Balthazar. Vincent thinks it's a great idea and says sure. When Alice attempts to talk to him about it, he informs her that if she wants the promotion, she should have her boyfriend pose for the photo session. Alice phones Balthazar in desperation, but he doesn't respond since he's too upset and drinking from their separation. Balthazar's father returns home to discover the house littered with beer bottles and junk food wrappers, just as Alice arrives to see Balthazar. His father gives him his clothing and pretends to be the one who is inebriated and depressed about a lady. This way, Alice does not believe it was Balthazar. They walk out to speak, and Alice cautiously brings up the shoot, but Balthazar isn't thrilled with the idea. On the day of the filming, Alice repeatedly calls Balthazar and informs everyone that he is on his way. Simon tells her to be honest, but Alice refuses to tell the truth. The photographer is quite unpleasant and causes problems for the entire staff. Just as Alice begins to lose faith, Balthazar comes and immediately begins working on her hair and cosmetics. Simon approaches him and apologizes, unknowing that Alice has never told Balthazar the truth. The shoot starts with Balthazar angry with Alice, and things go bad when the photographer irritates him, causing him to walk out. Elise attempts to speak with him, and he confronts her about the issue in front of everyone. Vincent tells Alice that she has wrecked their 10-year friendship and dismisses her, recommending she find a new job. Alice leaves feeling discouraged about her employment and her relationship with Balthazar. She continues to uncover reminders of him, such as a message he left on a tree and his show behind her mirror. Alice eventually decides to pay him a visit at his college. She asks his buddies where Balthazar is since she has to speak with him. They point her downstairs, but a student misidentifies her as a guest speaker and directs her to a classroom for Quincy's presentation. Balthazar is also present, so Alice decides to join in. She attempts to discuss infrastructure and modernity, but in doing so, she exposes her error to Balthazar. The kids begin clapping, and just then, Balthazar appears and asks Alice what all of this means, after which she kisses him in front of everyone. Months later, Alice visits the printing press to oversee something and informs Simon that they will have to start over. Later, Alice pays Balthazar a visit and presents him finished copies of her new book, which she wrote inspired by the relationship, and they kiss before the film closes. That was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more material like this, and please press the like button to assist us. Also, if you want us to recap your favorite movie, leave a comment. Take care until the next time.